in all technicality, there's a lot more blue pill simps than there is red pill men. It's always going to be like that. It's never going to be even, or it's never going to be more red pill than blue pill. Because the thing about the red pill and the blue pill is we don't force you to make the decision to be red pill. You have to choose to be the red pill. If you want to be ignorant and stay in the blue pill bliss, that's what you choose. But we don't force you to change your mind to be red pill. Now, what Yam said basically on that, to actually elaborate on what Yam said about we pick on simps basically instead of trying to help them. That actually does hurt our chances of actually getting more people into the fold for the most part, because instead of actually trying to help, we pick on them and call them names and belittle them for the most part. So to some extent, we're actually bullying them and not wanting to be MGTOW for the most part, or wanting to be red pill, which is facts. And that's 100% facts. There are some people in the manosphere that actually literally do that. And instead of actually being more helpful, they just pick on them and call them names and poke and prod them and basically become bullies. And this is why a lot of people want to run away from us and not want to come to us for the most part. Because we do have some people in the manosphere that do this on a regular basis. And it's just facts. To run off what Yam said. Because I do literally watch big MGTOW men or red pill men literally pick on somebody and call them a simp. Now, how do you know that person that you picked on wasn't the man that you were supposed to save that day? You know what I mean? How do you know that man that you just called a simp was not the man you were supposed to save? Let that sink in. It's kind of like how they say for religion, you basically go out to get people to come to the religion. I'm not saying it's a religion, but it's a philosophy for the most part. You want the philosophy to not be tarnished with people bullying other people or people calling other people names for the most part. By doing that, you're making people want to run away from us instead of actually want to embrace us. And it is what it is. That's literally what some of us do. And it's sad, but it is what it is. This is why I always say neutral Tico for the most part. For anything, I say neutral Tico. Because that's literally how I operate. Like, I don't care what's going on around me. I don't care who hates who. I don't care who got beef with who. Just leave me out of it until shit hits the fan, basically, is how I operate. Leave me out of the mess until shit hits the fan and I have to pick up a gun and start choosing sides for the most part. That's exactly how I operate. So when all this stuff jumps off, I'm just going to remain neutral. Now, when the shit goes too far, then I put my foot down. I don't want to have to put my foot down, but sometimes I do have to put my foot down, and I realize that. But what do one of y'all want to add to that? Because I know y'all see people that do this in the manosphere, so don't act like you don't. This is the no auction show, so don't act like we don't see people do that shit. Go ahead.
I think the main point here is we're here to help men.
Yeah.
We're here to help men, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter how you define whatever we're doing, that's the goal.
Facts.
The arguments don't do anything for us. You know,
Facts.
going through the split end details, splitting hairs on who's a MGTOW, who's a not a MGTOW, and all that good stuff.
That doesn't help anything. That just adds to the visual rhetoric that people see of us. By just, he's not a MGTOW, he's a MGTOW, he's not a MGTOW, you're not a real MGTOW, you're not this, you're not that. What the fuck do you think people on the outside see when you do that shit? Like I always say, it's all about perception and marketing. If you're going to market yourself to have somebody on you're not this, you're that, you're not this, you're not that. How do people see that then? Because I don't want to hang with them motherfuckers if you're doing that shit. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be friends with you if you're going to do that shit. I don't want to embrace motherfuckers like that if you're going to do that shit. It's just facts. Like, you can't just sit here and be like, this, especially if I give you fair warning. That's basically like when somebody came on my live stream talking about Jews this, Jews that. No, don't do that on my live stream, pimp. Don't do that on my live stream. My daughters watch this live stream. They're Jewish. Don't do that on my live stream. Respect my daughters who are watching this live stream, and they are pretty much my wrenches if they got to pull somebody up out of this bitch. It's just facts. So, and they haven't had to pull nobody out yet. So that lets me know that everybody's behaving in the comment section. So I'm gonna need you to respect people if they're not. The same goes for my daughters. My daughters are not here in the chat, so I'm gonna need you to respect their religion and their belief system. I don't care. I don't care what group of Jewish people you have a problem with. My daughter's still Jewish, and they hear this shit and they see this shit. So imagine what other people see and view, how other people see and view us. If people are going in on Jewish people or people are going on other people, that doesn't look very positive. That's not a very good outlook on people. That's not a good look for us at all. I don't care how you want to. I don't care how you want to wrap, how much you want to wrap it in a pretty bow and say it's a debate. No, it's not a debate. That's some childish shit by saying this, that, and the other, especially if the topic's not about that. How do we get the fuck back to that topic? Oh, that's right. He kept bringing it back to that topic. After I said don't talk about that, the person's not here to defend herself. What did he go do? He's this, he's that, he's that. Nigga, he's not here to defend himself. Let's not talk about that. So you can't tell me I'm wrong if I let you violate the rules more than I let somebody else violate the rules in his last stream. So I gave you more leeway than I gave another person. So I know that person's probably looking at this last stream like, fuck Tico, how come you gave him more chances than me? Now, how do I look as a human being if I gave him more chances to correct himself than I gave another person who I just fuck it, cut him off? That doesn't look right on my part because I literally gave him more chances than another person. What that basically looks like to that person is I favor MGTOW dictionary more than I favor them. Let that shit sink in. By letting them break the rules continuously after I said don't do that, don't do that. That's not me policing. That's me basically trying to be respectful to people viewing and trying to get an image going so people can actually view us in a positive light instead of saying, oh, that's how they act. Fuck them niggas. I don't want to be a part of them niggas. Because that's all it pretty much does is it makes people like want to back up from us when you do stupid shit like that. I don't give a fuck how you want to be right. And that's exactly what I was talking about. People want to argue about being right so much, they can't see the forest through the fucking trees. I mean, the clearing through the fucking trees, basically. And it is what it is. Just because you're arguing, you always want to say, I'm right, I'm facts, I'm right, I'm. No, you're not destroying shit. What you are destroying is the image of MGTOW or the image of the manosphere in general by doing this shit. Because seeing that, being somebody who's looking on it from the outside, seeing that paints it in a bad light, or makes it look negative, or makes us look like we don't give a fuck about each other and we attack each other on a regular basis. Hell, the left attacks each other. We're not supposed to do that shit. We're not supposed to mimic the same shit that the left is doing. That's not how the manosphere is supposed to go. We're supposed to look more civil than this shit. We're not supposed to be on here be like, well, he's not this, he's not that. That's not how this works. That's not how this works in the least bit. And like I said, I don't give a fuck if you're part of the English manosphere. I'm from the Spanish manosphere. You're on my live stream. You're going to respect my rules. I don't give a fuck if it sounds strict to you. But like I said, I follow the old rules from the Spanish manosphere. So if you start acting a fool, and I let you have too many chances, like I did. Hell, I didn't even let my children have that many chances. Hell, I didn't even let there was another guy on my live stream that I actually just kicked out after 3. I gave that motherfucker about 4 hours of chances to actually 3.5, 4 hours of chances to actually correct itself. So now I know that person that I kicked out of my live stream is looking at me like, well, that was unfair, Tika. How come you kicked me out in 3? You let this motherfucker run on for hours on end. How does that promote me as fair now? So you can't just come in the live stream acting a fool if I tell you, if I say over, now it's fine if you're in the comment section, I'll let you have that shit. You're in the comment section, you're not on the panel. Run wild, just don't go crazy, but run wild for the most part. But if you're on the panel and I tell you the person's not here to defend herself, don't talk about them, I expect you to follow that rule. I'm not asking you to fucking, stand on one foot, spin around 7 times, and drop your pants and stick a finger up your ass. I'm not asking you to do all that. I ask you to follow 2 simple rules. If the person's not on the panel, respect the people on the panel. And if the person's not here to defend herself, don't disrespect that person. Let them be here to defend themselves. I basically approach it like the court of law in the United States. Despite the fact that shit got skewed after feminists took over, I give the person the right to defend themselves. If they're not here to defend themselves, you're not going to jump on the person. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't care if it's a KKK member that just hung 9 black people. I'm going to give him the platform to defend himself. If he's not here to defend himself, I'm not going to let you talk bad about the man. Like I said, it don't matter who it is. It'd be Penny Proud. It could be Richie Romance. It could be anybody. You're not going to disrespect somebody if they're not here to defend themselves. But yeah, that's all I ask you. You respect the people on the panel, and at least have the people here in a chat room or on the panel to defend themselves if you're going to go in on somebody. That's all I fucking ask. That's all I fucking ask. And apparently people can't follow that simple rule. Apparently it's too hard, so I must have to go back to the chalkboard and go with my 6-year-old so we can make up new rules so motherfuckers can follow them now. Matter of fact, I'm going to text Lazo now so we can actually come up with this shit. Because obviously I need a 6-year-old to come up with rules so motherfucking grown-ass men can follow the fucking rules. And that shit pisses me off. Because I know if Lazo was in a live stream, he would actually follow suit. And he actually follow directions. I can't do this and I can't do this. So I can do this. All my children know this. That's how I raise my children. These are the rules. Follow these rules. Now, if these rules seem flawed to you at any given point, then you can go and bend those rules. But if they're not flawed and they stand the test of times, I'm gonna need you to follow them. It's that simple. But go ahead, Han Solo and Double I. I'm sorry.
No, you're saying what's that needs to be said.
Yeah, I was just kind
warnings.
of I guess it's not relevant, but how do you guys feel about the so-called MGTOW